Alright everybody, this is a repair video on how we're fixing bleach stains on our floor. Basically the bleach, what it does is it will wax up the oil, it takes it off, it penetrates into it. This piece here, we've done this with outdoor bleach just to make sure that it's a really potent bleach and that it's we'll be able to fix even the worst, you know. So we did a little bit of overkill here on it. Now what we've done, we just splashed bleach on this floor. When we wiped it off, it took off the color and has essentially ruined this floor. It's a relatively easy fix. What we use is, this is a piece of a maroon pad from a buffer. You could also use sandpaper. I'll show you kind of with both. What we got to do is we lightly sand the area just to make sure that all the edges are going to be able to accept stain. Any you can see kind of a hard edge here where there's finish here and there's not here. We want to kind of smooth those out. We're going to stay contained in these areas. We don't want to sand too much around here. But what I'll do, I can see some splashes over here, so I'm going to start kind of just lightly sanding this. Let's get a fresh spot of this. It's a very light sand. You don't want to take it up till it's white. You know, you kind of want to leave as much stain on it as possible. I'm just going around the edges here. I'm putting a decent amount of pressure with this red pad. If I had a sandpaper like this, I would do a really light pressure. Just a really slight sand. I prefer the red pad over the sandpaper. It's easier to mess it up with the sandpaper because you could sand too much. So I'm gonna go back to that. But okay, what we've done is we just kind of hit that whole area. I can tell it's kind of starting to lighten it up just a hair. That's kind of where I want to stop. Don't want to do too much into it. So you'll wipe off any residual dust. Then we'll send you the matching Whistler Mountain stain for this particular job. Just make sure you have the matching stain for your job. We'll take it, we'll put it on. Now this stain is a alcohol base, so it flashes really fast, but it also can leave stain lines. So what you'll want to do, you can always make it darker, but you can't necessarily make it lighter. So start off with a quick coat and then dry wipe it. I'll show you that right here. So basically what you'll do is you'll go over the whole area and then kind of wipe it. And then you'll kind of just keep doctoring it until it's the darkness of your floor. I'll leave this. I can tell it needs to go a little bit darker. So I'll let it sit for a second and then wipe it off. Now this is looking good. I can tell that I'll be able to finish right over this. Kind of blow it dry, let it dry. I can see there's still kind of a spot here that it's not gonna look 100% good if I finish that. So what I'll go ahead and do is retouch that up with the red pad. Make sure I get around the edges. And then go through and restain that area. Let it sit for a second, wipe it off. Okay, yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, from here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna use a master oil. This is basically an air cure version of what we put on here in the factory. That's a UV cured version. This takes about 12 hours to cure. So you're not gonna wanna walk on the pieces that you repair for at least a little bit of time. Sock dry in about 4 hours. I would recommend putting this on the boards affected. Put 1 or 2 coats And then I would also recommend you going through your whole floor and buffing this on. Now this is easy to buff on. The customer can do it themselves with a buffer or with even a rag, and dry rag it off. It does have instructions on it, so it's relatively easy to use. If you have a buffer, it works it in a little bit better, and you can get more off when you're dry buffing it after you wet buff it. Then you'll take all and clean all the excess off and really polish it in. What I'm going to do with this is you could just put it on with a rag. You know, a little bit goes a long ways. Kind of clean off my area a little bit. So I put it on wet like that, just kind of rubbed it on, and then I'll take the dry side of the rag and dry it. And then you let that sit, and you can see there that that floor was all messed up, but now it's fixed and should be a good fix for anybody in their home. Thank you.